Okay, here we are, sitting on the old creek road. We just spooked some hogs out of Horse Creek and are headed off the hill up there behind that valley oak right there. They'll come out here on the other side pretty soon. What I'm going to do today, coincidentally, is take you up this road to Hog Canyon. You can kind of see, based on there, they come out behind that tree now. Kind of see why they might call that Hog Canyon now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 total. 3 or 4 little guys. Little guys about 25, 30 pounds. 3 or 4 adults. There's a couple of herds of these. This is the second herd. You see the cattle over there standing there looking at them like they're aliens from another planet. Hogs don't seem to mind though. Anyway, we're sitting here on the old creek road. Let me zoom back out. Here on the old creek road. The old creek road goes straight ahead here in front of us along Horse Creek Flats down here. And we're on the east side of Horse Creek. You can see the new road over there my grandpa put in after the 37 flood, so he didn't have to cross Horse Creek to get up here to the south end of his property. But this road, this was in here, for a long time. It's how Buckman got to their homestead, McCrae got to their homestead. That's McCrae Creek down there ahead of us behind those trees. Well, my grandpa put this road here that goes up to the left in the 70s. So it's a more modern road. He put it in to get to the top of this hill I'm going to show you, over into what we call Hog Canyon. Let's go see where it goes. Creek down there. Red Hill up there. Hold on a second here. If you look off down to the right here, I passed that. You can see vestiges of an old rock wall down there. Put in by my grandparents. Keep the hogs down there on Horse Creek Flats where he used to plant barley or wheat to feed the hogs. Imagine building a rock wall. Tell me that's not labor intensive. So let's head on up here to the gate. A white quartz right there. Okay, I'm going to pause while we get through the gate here. Okay, here we go. Old tree still partially alive. A couple of old dead ones. So what we got here, this is one of our rifle targets. If you look down there yonder, you can see the shooting range. We got a rifle platform down there that shoots up to this target here. This target's at 500 yards. We got them set up at 100, 250, and 750 up on that hill we just came by before we made it through the gate. That's 750 yards from down there. Right here's 500. Pretty good if you can hit that 8-inch round plate 500 yards with your rifle. You can pretty much shoot a hog or a deer, not too much problem. Let's keep on going here. Stop here in the shade for a minute. Down there's what we call Coyote Spring. It's been modernized a little bit by John Vincent and his guys. My grandfather built a water trough here down here by this big rock with the orange algae on it, or orange lichen, or whatever you want to call it. About the shape of a coffin. And I think the year on the water trough says like 1938 or something like that. I know my Uncle Gene was still here and helped him build that. You still see a little leakage here out the back. But you can see the vestiges of the rocks they found and cemented in here. And somewhere in here, typical of all things Whitney built with cement, and there's a date stamped, but I'm pretty sure it's in the late 30s. But this would have been a water trough, would have been watertight back then, and a pipe coming in from where they ran it from the spring pocket. And John Vincent's guys came in here with a big dozer or skip loader or something and scraped it all out. And the water actually seeps from under that ledge over there. And where everything green over there grows, that's where the water seeps out from under this mountain. So this would have all been filled in with dirt here. And to about these rocks right here. Would have all been sloping hill here. And then he would have dug the spring out somewhere right about in here and run a piece of pipe to his water trough here. There's an old shovel handle that he probably used to accomplish it. And there's some old steel pipe and hog wire and what have you up here that he used to make the cement trough. But he had to haul the cement and stuff in here by mule or however he got it up here. Because this Hog Canyon road wasn't here, so he probably had to ride it in by mule. So this is an attraction for hogs and cattle, but sometimes you'll see deer in here occasionally. We used to set a game camera here, trail camera up on that little stake over there. And we saw a couple of bucks in here that come off of this hill up here. But what we found is that deer really don't like to drink out of the same water cattle do unless they absolutely have to. Cattle muck it all up, and the deer just don't like that. Coyotes will drink there and bobcats, but there's another spring back up there between that knob and that ridge that the deer prefer. So let's head on up the road here and see what we can find. Salt lick for the cows, John Vincent's cows. My sons and I own the property about to that water trough you saw, and now these 240 acres in section 16 belong to my Uncle Kenny. Bulldozer, you can put a road just about in anywhere. Still a little bit of green on the north side of this mountain, but not a whole lot. Everything else pretty much turned brown here in the first week of May. Actually, I guess we're in the second week of May now. Beautiful country. This road one time with my brother right about here, and we looked over there beyond these dead oaks you see here in front of us, right there by those rocks, and those half a dozen oaks back there. 2 bucks bedded down back there. Really old blue oak. Off here to the right, let's see, we're really grabbing some elevation. Rifle range down there. Up here, violets. Hog Canyon off over this hill right here. Red hill behind us. That hill's got a name. I got no idea what it is. But I've walked over all this stuff, so there's Potato Hill. Whoa, that was a thrilling ride. Not as smooth as some of the other roads. But you can see on this big old flat rock, Indians actually made it up here. Started making some mortars on this rock. They're not very old, so they didn't stay here long or use it very often. But there's the draw. There's a spring up there, and then there's water that seeps all along Hog Canyon here. And this winds down around behind section 16 and comes out in the southeast corner of my property. And there's a spring there, but it's completely dry right now. It's bone dry down in that corner. The spring up here, I've been up there a couple weeks ago. It's still got a little water in it. It's weeping into that. A couple weeks ago when I came up here, I busted a coyote out of that draw over there, and he went running across that hillside right there. But man, what a view, huh? If there's a more beautiful place to live, I can't imagine where it would be. And in the old days, Wells used to live up here on Big Oak Flat. Arthur Wells wrote his memoirs down. He said it was a lot wetter back then. There was many more wildflowers, much more wildlife. Wells Creek ran year-round, nice cold water. So it would have still been green this time of year. Wildflowers would just be disappearing. Poppies would have been covering these hills. It would have looked like these hills were on fire. There would be so many poppies out here, California poppies. And then of course there was a Mariposa poppy, which is even more beautiful. But wow, look at all those mountains, huh? Sierra Nevada foothills. Over there between the near ridge and the far ridge is the Cahuilla Basin. It's where Cahuilla Lake is. Cahuilla River runs out of the park, coming down there. Okay, we're going to go continue on up that hill there. Pretty steep. I'm going to try to hold the camera, show you what it's like. And we're going across that road there. Ends over there in that draw at the next spring. See if we can make it over there. Holding this camera with my left hand, so my right arm should be like Popeye here by the time I get through with these videos. this camera here in the basket and grab both hands. I don't know. We'll try going up this hill here with one hand. It's pretty steep. That wasn't the steep part. Tell how steep it is by the way the trees grow. Alright, made it. Okay. Another direction, Potato Hill. Horse Creek, running up that draw down there. Some of the old ranch roads going through there. Good deer country here. South sides of hills here are always bald and burned off. North sides are always brushy and a little green. Let's go down here and see what we got. There's the other spring down there. It's flowing pretty good. That's a nice big body of water. It looks like there's a dang duck sitting on that pond. It's pretty mucky though. Usually the ducks hang out down in the reservoir. There he goes, a mallard. He just lifted off. You see him? Travel in pairs up here. I'm surprised it's a loner. Don't see any hogs down there though. One time we came by here and there used to be a big old rock down there about where that moss is laying on the right side there, nearest to us. And my brother and my daughter, we were moping around here doing stuff and talking and throwing rocks down there, kicking rocks down the, rolling rocks down the hill. And I told my brother, I said, I don't remember a big old rock. We're in right down there located where that moss is. He said, yeah, me neither. I took a rock and threw it down there and hit a hog who was asleep. And he jumped up like he'd been scalded. Took off running down that trail. Scared the living daylights out of him. But he was sound asleep when we showed up. You can see right there where the bank goes down into the pond. There's a hog wallow right there. It looks like a levee outlet actually. About the length of a hog. Right, let me see if I can zoom for you here. Right about in there. Okay, let's go out here to the end. This fence is the end of my Uncle Kenny's property here, and this is the neighbor's, J.G. Boswell. Little gate so you get cattle or horses in and out. So that's it. This is the road to Hog Canyon. Check out my other videos.